Game of Thrones ended Series 7 this week. The longest episode of Game of Thrones ever, clocking in at just over an hour and 10 minutes, or hour and 15 almost.
Gary, I know we don't normally like to feel smug, do we?
No.
I hope it was on the one we did that we put out and not on the one that didn't record. But I'm pretty sure we predicted Littlefinger's death.
Not only that, I've been talking about the wall coming down for years. But again, I've got no... I've got
Is that just in your flat, though?
To be fair, only Mrs. McNamara ever heard it, so, you know. I kind of, as he said, you and I saw it coming, and as soon as I saw Bran in the room, I knew something was up.
Arya and Sansa have obviously been plotting together behind Littlefinger's back, and I think we saw that. But why then was there all that hostility unless they knew maybe they knew he was listening in?
You saw one very small clip where he paid a maid at Winterfell and the assumption that he had spies everywhere, you know, that he had little people watching. Apparently there's a missing scene that they're going to release at some point, or may have already released, of Sansa talking to Bran and Bran confirming that in every scene where they were talking, he had someone watching. You know, the one that confused me in the last episode was when she presented her with the knife. And said, you know, I could cut your face off. That all just felt very staged.
But there was a scene where Littlefinger was listening in, so I don't know if it was that one.
Yeah. He thought he was playing them, but they were playing him, which was very good.
They've sort of steered away from the books a little bit more, haven't they? I mean, they've run out. They've run out of books.
We're well beyond the books now.
That is it Windhoff and Weiss? Are they the two?
Benioff and Weiss.
Benioff and Weiss.
Yeah.
Seem to be going in for, like, instant gratification. Nothing's slowing down anymore. And I know they've said, these events don't take place at the same time. You know, so why is Blah taking that long to get from that distance when it took this person? But
White
it seems to be
faster than dragons.
We're getting everything very quickly now, and
they haven't continued what the early seasons did, which is killing off main characters.
Yeah, I was thinking
we
that.
noticed that in this series, that really, I mean, like, who died? Thoros of Myr.
Olenna Tyrell.
Littlefinger, maybe he's the biggest character that got killed.
Olenna Tyrell.
Olenna Tyrell, but again, that was kind of, you know, they're the Sand Snakes, you know, people died off.
Sam's dad and brother.
We think that Tormund and the other guy that was up there died on the wall, but we've got no, you know, it was off screen, so if it's off screen, we don't necessarily know it happens. I don't know. It would have been very brave to have killed off a Stark.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. To me, this feels very much like the final season, part A. It's like when they separated the final two Harry Potter films or something like that. We should sort of break down the rest of it. So we had, in the penultimate episode, the Magnificent Seven, as some dubbed them, the sort of Snow Suicide Squad.
Fellowship of the North.
Went to get a White. They got trapped, and as you referenced, they sent a Raven, which got there in miraculous fashion.
Yeah, a Raven got to Storm's End quicker than a dragon did the return journey. So
yeah, but dragons are heavier, aren't they?
Well, that's it. Yeah, and I suppose, you know, Daenerys probably had to pack and everything. You know, get changed into her silver outfit.
So Daenerys comes across with one of her dragons.
She comes with all three, doesn't she?
But doesn't go back with all three, because one is killed by the Night King.
Interestingly enough, a lot of people reading into that one, that the dragon that died and stayed the other side of the wall was Viserion, who was named after her treacherous brother Viserys, who, of course, you know, it's quite apt that, you know, the dragon named after her brother is now on the other side.
And he was the one who got... Did he die by a candle or something? Did he
melt? He gold stuck on his head
that's it.
by Drogon in, I think, the first series.
Drogon.
Very early on.
Then the Night King turned him into a big ice dragon, which, as you referenced, then took the wall down in the final scene of the final episode. We also got fans, I think, that first set piece in the final episode where you got basically all the major players together for the first time.
Well, the only problem that I had with it was that in the previous episode we had something similar where several characters got together to Eastwatch by the Sea, where you had like the Brotherhood without banners and Jon and Davos and the Hound, and they had
the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide, these kind of like these guys that went north, they had this kind of moment like, oh, I remember you, and I remember you, and you killed my brother, and all this and all that. And then all we did was we got it again, but more bigger and more tense.
But I think the thing is, like, Cersei and Daenerys have never met. Jon Snow and Cersei really haven't come into contact with each other that much.
There were a couple of things that I liked about it. The tempting of Clegane Bowl, which if you're a book reader or book lover, you'll know is this theory where the Mountain and the Hound are one day going to fight to the death. But the scene was quite nice and quite tense. And also, I don't know if you noticed, but he said... There was quite cryptic as well, because he kind of looked up to him and said, "What have you done to you? You know one day he will come for you." Which is all very interesting, because we don't have no idea what that means.
Are Podrick and Bran still having a beer together? Because you never saw either of them again.
And what happened to Gendry? Was he just recuperating back up on the wall after running
he's still rowing. He's rowing again.
Oh, he's gone back to rowing. He's doing a Westeros triathlon. I didn't like the fact that Cersei was unfazed by a dragon, but scared witless by a dead person.
I think maybe she was expecting the dragon. When, she's not turned up. She's coming in on one of her flipping dragons. We're so tired of dragons now.
Oh, I know, yeah. There are no dragons. I expected Daenerys to do that. As soon as I saw she wasn't in that party, I knew it would be that show of strength. I just don't think it worked, because as you say, Cersei was like, nah, dragons. Throw a white at her, and she was terrified and changed her mind, and suddenly... Well, not suddenly, because of course she tells everybody she's going to side with them, and then changes her mind as a woman.
But there were some nice little bits there. There was a bit between Jaime and Brienne, which was quite nice.
Yes.
I liked having Tyrion, Pod, and Bran back together for that. Sorry, Bronn back together for that one scene.
But as you said, there were good moments of reunions, but I think it was just a little bit.
And
also, it's like
the Tyrion Cersei scene I really liked as well. The other bit I liked, and I don't know if you picked up on it, is the thing with Anton Lesser. What's his character called? Qyburn? Qyburn. He's he was looking at the sort of arm that had come off the Whites. I don't know if you read this theory that he's trying to sort of see how to sort of make their own Whites for
he
Cersei
obviously
to
has
use.
Reanimated the Mountain, so he's obviously the reason that he was kicked out of the Citadel was for dealing with this kind of dark arts of reanimating people. So it was a good character link to have him kind of pick it up and examine it.
So after speaking to Tyrion, we had the thing that Cersei says, yes, I'll stand my armies down, blah, 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 but then she revealed to Jaime that actually she sent Euron to get to the Gold Company, and they're coming back with elephants, Gary, in the final season. Elephants.
Brilliant.
But Jaime swore an oath to pretend, so he's gone off on his Todd now, hasn't he?
Yeah, but the impression that you get is he will join the Fellowship of the North.
Do you reckon he'll take Bronn with him?
Get caught along the way.
Was Bronn of the Blackwater be coming with him?
Don't know. He seemed like he was going off on his own. So
yeah. Well, I think he and Pod were just still getting drunk together.
Well, that's it,
I felt he could have been a possible candidate to die this series. Actually, Jerome.
I mean, a lot of people are surprised that Brienne, Podrick, and Bronn
Varys
are still alive, because you could really have, you could have got rid of all of them quite logically. I think this season was overhyped a bit. I think the fact that it was 7 episodes wasn't a problem for me. What I think the problem was, by delaying it to the summer, it received extra hype, and I don't think the storyline is now as good as it was in the earlier series. I think the acting's still fine. I know a lot of people out there are conflicted, saying, it's all too rushed, and I think the thing I mind now is that I don't like some of the plots that they're doing. I don't mind the stuff in the North.
In what way? What sort of stuff? What sort of stuff?
I don't like the Winterfell stuff. I didn't like the Littlefinger death.
Okay, I agree with you there. That's sort of the weakest plot, and having all the Starks together and not really doing a lot with them.
I think the interesting thing will be, will we get a proper Stark reunion, i.e. Jon with, the rest of the family? Because I think, that's important. I need somebody to be questioning Bran. Everyone just seems to go, oh, you're the three-eyed raven. Oh, that's nice for you. Why isn't anybody sitting him down and going through, well, okay, you can see anything, right? Tell me what, no one seems to be sort of questioning how he got this ability or what's going on or how they can use it. They have in their hands someone who can change future and past.
Apart from probably Sam, who seemed to get it straight.
He is the one, really, that, everybody's been saying they think he is the narrator of the series and the books.
The writer.
Because of the way in which his character sort of works things out. But he seems to accept things. He was the first person to kill a White Walker with Dragonglass. He's kind of the unlikely bumbling hero. Yet, his storyline hasn't really progressed.
No.
He's not a maester. He's not
Yeah,
married.
I don't like the
yeah.
Don't like the fact he left the Citadel. It's like, right, we need to get you over to Winterfell for the finale.
Yeah,
that's what that felt like, because I thought he could have stayed in the Citadel, as you said, because like I liked all the stuff with him and Jim Broadbent. I thought that was quite good.
Yeah.
Those are my sort of criticisms, really, about how quick everything is, how, like, I suppose you're getting a battle every episode, rather than you used to get one big one at the end of the season,
that's where the money's going. That's why we're only getting less episodes, because, you know, if you've built a story over 7 or 8 series where winter is coming, you've kind of got to deliver some big battles, and there's still bigger ones to come, we assume. The key thing will be for Series 8, I think, is will they drag it out for the final battle, or will it be that what they will do? Because they've got this situation where now you've got the White Walkers and the White south of the Wall. Will they still continue their slow march down, or will they actually now move to Winterfell, take it over, go down south? You know, what are we going to get? Everybody's heading towards Winterfell, sort of, in a convergence.
Is that where the Golden Company guys are going as well?
Well, no, we don't know where the Golden Company are going, and Winterfell is landlocked, so the Golden Company would have to come in inland and possibly...
To King's Landing.
And possibly attack Jon and Daenerys' troops from behind. You know, it'll be a kind of a squeeze, you know, White Walkers to the north and the Golden Company to the south. You know, maybe as they retreat, they'll get attacked by the Golden Company. That would be quite a good scene, I think, or quite a good episode.
So you've been underwhelmed?
Yeah, it's still Game of Thrones. It's still dragons. It's still white zombies. But I've been underwhelmed.
You're a sort of bigger Thrones fan than me, obviously, through the books.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel about Game of Thrones the same way I feel about Doctor Who, in terms of that I'll watch it, I enjoy some of it, I know a good TV episode when I see it, and I thought episode 5 of this season, which was the shortest one as well, I really enjoyed that, and because it was the one that had sort of been leaked, and I naughtily watched it the day before, and sort of was like, oh, I'll watch a bit of it now, and then I'll come back to it, and it was because it was late at night, and I ended up watching it all in one go.
Yeah. The leaking was strange. Again, I don't know whether to believe HBO in that it was a leak or whether they released it. There's a lot of people saying that they wanted to lower expectations.
Well, there was 2 though, wasn't there? There was 2 that they released. There was one that the hackers in India got, and I think that might have been episode 4 or 5. I think actually it was 4 that I really enjoyed, not 5. And then 6 came out like almost a week early, because Spain had shown the wrong episode or put it up on their online server.
And before you knew it, everybody had seen it. And I think that's now the problem. I mean, Game of Thrones is the most illegally downloaded show in history.
Okay, so we're looking forward to the next season, but Gary is trepidatious because of the sort of the way they're leaving the books behind. So you're much more of a books fan than a...
I have much more of an enjoyment in the books, and I think if you were to tell me that the book was going to be released a day before the next series, I would delay watching the series to read the book.